Welcome to Money Talks. I'm calling this the Money Talk Special. My name is Mike Campbell. I'm really glad you're with us. You know, over the course of a year, we run, terrific interviews. It's no thanks to me, it's thanks to the guests we get. But we get requests to hear them again, or we get requests, can you get that person on again? And I mean, it's substantial, and I'm really pleased with that. Well, today we're going to answer some of those prayers. I'm going to feature the top interviews of the last 6 months. And I think you're going to really enjoy it. Some of them actually a little longer than that. We're not going to play the full interview, just the essence of it, the hints. But I think it's going to satisfy a lot of people. We're also doing the quote of the week, the most requested quotes of the week, most requested shocking stat, and the top two goofies, at least so far in 2024. But first, I'm going to start today by talking about decision making. Have you ever made a bad decision? Bad decisions, mistakes? Well, I certainly has. As the old saying goes, the markets are a harsh mistress, though. I mean, that's just another way of saying, you pay a price for bad decision making when you invest. When your decision making is faulty, or you didn't take into account some variables, or you let your emotions dominate and end up taking too much risk, well, you pay a specific financial price when you're wrong. And do that often enough, well, you got two choices. You'll actually learn, or you'll stop investing. I have to admit, over the years, I have been amazed how often at times I can repeat the same mistake. Dan Millman, he was the author of The Peaceful Warrior, says, it's not making mistakes that's the problem, it's how often you repeat them. Well, think about this. That's not the case in politics, where decision makers pay no direct price for implementing policies with even the most dire consequences. I mean, this week we heard the Phoenix pay system debacle has now cost taxpayers $3.7 billion. And not only did those in charge not pay a price for what former Auditor General Michael Ferguson called unfathomable incompetence, no, some of the managers actually got a bonus. That's not what it's like in investing. Sadly, there are literally thousands of other examples in the political realm of what they call unintended consequences or billions of dollars lost, but rarely does anyone pay a direct price, which is arguably the primary reason mistakes are repeated so often. So let me start with some high-priced help, talking about one characteristic that some of the most successful investors in history say is the foundation of sound decisions. The good news is it's straightforward. It's easy to understand. Warren Buffett put it succinctly. When asked the foundation of successful investing, he replied, humility and restraint. Do not let our egos or our desires control our actions. To recognize what we do not know, or that we do not know everything, that we are not infallible. I think that's great advice. So was Stanley Druckenmiller, who said in quotes, every great money manager I've ever met, all they want to talk about is their mistakes. Well, there's great humility there. Maybe that's because, as well-known author and economist Peter Bernstein concluded after years of study, in quotes, humility is an enormously important quality. You can't win without it. Survival in the end is where the winners are by definition, and survival begins with humility. I love when Mark Twain said, it ain't what you know that gets you in trouble, it's what you know for sure that isn't so. Now, here's a little something from Oaktree Capital's famed investor Howard Marks. He gives us a practical approach that would benefit, I think, all of us, as well as political decision makers. He says that no statement that starts with the words, I don't know but, or I could be wrong but, ever got anybody in trouble. I mean, that's great advice. But I want you to notice one thing. In a world awash with nasty unintended consequences, with so many examples that are the result of, really head-scratching political decision, the lack of humility by our leaders and their partisan supporters is actually breathtaking. And I think we're seeing far more of it. There's sort of the our opinion and everyone else is an idiot approach. Or as Chrystia Freeland put it recently, there are those who are aligned with her vision or those that are cold, cruel, and small. Hillary Clinton called them deplorable. But we see other things. Regularly, opponents are dismissed as stupid or ignorant or a-holes. I mean, it's common among progressives to describe those that disagree as unintelligent and capable of informed judgments. I think actually it's become a hallmark of progressive elites that arrogance has led to horrendous decision-making. And I'm not talking about a different ideological approach. I'm talking about the certainty with which so many make decisions without a hint of critical evaluations, let alone any thought that maybe they could be wrong. What jumps out at me is the unwillingness to even entertain that the decisions may be based on faulty logic or faulty data or not enough data, which is vividly exemplified by the no questions attitude that seems to have become so prevalent. Come on, questions are how we test our ideas. You can have exposed faulty logic and reasoning. My point is, for all of us, when we approach the investment markets or anything else, we do not have to repeat that mistake. Professionals have humility. They replace arrogance that says, I'm always right, and instead incorporate humility in ways that says, you know what, maybe I'm wrong. And that can go a long way to reducing risk in every area. As I say, we got so much planned for you. The top requested quotes of the week coming up. I've got the top requested editorials or commentary by other people, the interviews that we're doing, and of course, Goofy Awards, all of that coming your way. I'm really glad you're with us.